What's up everyone, SnoopLoop7 here with day 5 of Tryhard Week, and we're getting into the final stretch here with the last few days, and the gameplay you're seeing is Team Deathmatch on Warhawk, and I go 27 and 9, that's a big difference, 27 and 9, and I also had 7 assists, you know, just helping my teammates out. I'm a nice guy like that. I was like Steve Nash out there, making it rain with the assists. But now what I want to talk about today is the use of stealth and how I would use stealth in previous games as compared to now. And by stealth I primarily mean staying off the radar, or off the minimap I should say, because the minimap is a powerful tool that's used by just about everyone. Some are better at using it than others, but everyone pretty much uses it to locate enemy players. When an enemy player shoots with an unsilenced weapon, they show up as a red dot, or when a spy plane makes a sweep, they show up as red dots. So I realized this early on in my Call of Duty career back in Black Ops 1, so I figured why should I let the enemy know where I am and give them a potential advantage. So back in Black Ops 1, pretty much every class I had contained a silenced weapon and the perk called Ghost, which kept you off the spy plane radar sweeps. And I played somewhat of a stealthy manner. I would try to stay away from my teammates, especially if they didn't have Ghost or a silencer, and that style of play carried over into Modern Warfare 3. Again, the majority of my classes had a silencer and the perk Assassin, same thing as Ghost, just a different name, and I played that same kind of style, where I would kind of try and stay away from my teammates so that the enemies wouldn't be looking for me, and so they wouldn't know where to look for me. And then Black Ops 2 came out, and the Ghost perk kind of changed. In order to stay off the spy plane's radar, you would have to be moving, and this made it a lot less attractive to me, not because I never moved when I play, but I didn't want to be forced to move just to stay off the minimap. So I did not use Ghost nearly as much as I did previously, and I kind of started moving away from the stealthy style of staying off the radar. And so with the silencers in Black Ops 2, I started using them less as well. I didn't completely stop using them. I still used them for a fair amount of my classes, but they weren't on the majority of classes like previously. Now, part of the reason for my shift away from stealthiness was the fact that I had become a much better player, and I didn't need to rely on being stealthy to win gunfights. Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3 were my first 2 games of the series, so it helped me out a lot, being able to flank and shoot people in the side or the back, and to have enemy players not know where I was shooting them from. But as I improved as a player, as I got better with my aim and accuracy, I found I didn't need to flank and I didn't need to stay off the radar because I could win the majority of my head-to-head gunfights. And because I wasn't using Ghost, I was in more head-to-head gunfights, so the silencer became even less useful, and I was better off with something like grip or armor piercing so that I could shoot people through cover, things like that. And so now in Call of Duty Ghosts, I never use off the grid. I personally think it's useless for like 95% of situations because SATCOMs are just so weak in this game. And then I also almost never use silencers anymore. Really the only time a gun of mine will have a silencer is if it's the integrated Honey Badger or K7. So I no longer really care if I show up on the radar. I know everyone's going to see my red dot on the minimap, and they're going to come running, and it's kind of like, bring it on, let's do it. I'm not worried about getting in a gunfight. So I've definitely made a transition in my style of play. And let me know in the comments below if you guys like using silencers and perks that keep you off the radar, or would you rather have the enemies know where you are and let them come running to you. Now in the gameplay here, I get a few kills on guys turning the corner of the building down there, and they finally get me after a reload, and it was just kind of some bad luck on my part. He turned the corner right as I went back behind cover so that I could get the reload, and so then when I popped back out of cover, he was there waiting for me, and I was starting to aim down sight looking at the corner, but since he had already passed the corner and was waiting for me, he had the advantage and he was able to get the kill on me. But that little sequence there is actually a good example of what I was talking about earlier with not using a silencer and having the enemy team come running to you. Because after I got that first kill, the enemy team started running one after another around that corner trying to get to me, and I was able to get 5 kills before I ended up dying. Then again, if I had been using a silencer, maybe that last guy who killed me wouldn't have known where I'd previously been shooting from, and he wouldn't have already been aimed down sight on me when I turned back around the corner after reloading. So each way is going to have their advantages and disadvantages, and it really, at the end of the day, is just going to come down to personal preference. And I die right here because my aim was just absolutely awful. I was lying down, I knew someone was bound to turn that corner, and I still completely missed. So that was just terrible on my part. I also got killed quite a few times by this Optic Gobble guy on the other team. He was a really good player with like a 2-0 KD, 3-0 win-loss. But that's about going to wrap up this video. Don't forget to leave a like rating, subscribe if you haven't already. Like always, the stats will be at the end of the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.